We're early. What's going on, world? Tarot world, astrology world. I'm Tarot Oracle, and this is Austin, otherwise known as Astro Ascension. We're here to discuss astrology. What's up, Austin?
Hi, everybody. How you guys doing? I am Austin, otherwise known as Astro Ascension Tarot on YouTube. So I'm pretty much do astrology and tarot, and basically I just do tarot on my channel, but I'm gonna be doing more astrology stuff on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check out my channel, it's Astro Ascension Tarot. So I also stream every day. I try to stream every day at like 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also I am an astrologer, a intuitive guide, and I pretty much just like read tarot, and got like and pretty much just do astrology and stuff like that. And also I'm psychic, so I get a lot of I get a lot of like I get a lot of revelations from spirit. So it's really interesting. So glad to be on this channel. Hello, everybody.
Galaxy Girl, what's going on? Good to see you. Hello, anybody else is there as well? Sunshiny Day, what's going on? I'm Tarot Oracle, in case anybody doesn't already know. I assume you know, or maybe you stumbled on the channel. I do random stuff. That's me. So what are your favorite books, Austin? Let's go astrology.
So I've read a total of 2 books in astrology. I don't read much books in astrology. I just like learned it myself. I already have like some knowledge. I did read The Only Astrology Book You Ever Need, and the 12 Houses. So those were my books that I read while I was doing my studies in astrology. But mainly I just like learned the archetypes myself, and learned about the houses and the aspects. So pretty much I just got like pretty quick like that, and started reading charts, and a lot of people were saying that my readings were accurate. So yeah, that's my astrology journey. And then so pretty much what I am in astrology is a Leo sun, a Libra moon, and a Virgo rising. So those are my big 3, which is basically the sun, moon, and rising.
Have you read this one, Hellenistic Astrology?
No, I have not, but I want to get that book, because I do want to study like ancient forms of astrology, like Vedic, Hellenistic, and medieval astrology.
This is a pretty good book. It's
yeah.
One of the things I like about it's only $10 on Google Books. So it's like 1,000 something pages. How many pages? Yeah, it's almost 1,000. No, it's about 700 something pages. And it's only $10 on Google Books. So that's why I liked it. Of course, I bought the physical version because there's only so much computer I can take in a day. But the fact that it's only $10 is nice. So ancient astrology is kind of unusual, and it definitely goes into a whole different theme, like a whole different set of how to read and everything like that. there's some, I mean, there's obviously overlap, but as far as technique, there's quite a bit of it goes on its own course, indeed.
Yeah, we in Hellenistic astrology, there's this concept that I'm currently studying about, like in astrology, it's called like zodiacal releasing. So basically, it's where you're where the part of where the lot of fortune is, where the lot of fortune is where your zodiacal releasing starts. And I'm also learning about like perfections, annual perfections as well, which is basically like based on the houses. Like so right now I am 27 years old, and right now I'm on my currently on my fourth house perfection year. So really just like getting so everything that is like on my fourth house is being activated. Like I have so I have like I have like just like Capricorn in my fourth house, and it's being activated right there. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a video right there. It's a 4 hour. So Chris Brennan wrote the book. He's kind of the de facto expert on zodiacal releasing, Hellenistic astrology, all that other stuff. So I linked in the chat a 4 hour video, which is free on YouTube from him, about zodiacal releasing, in case anybody's interested. I'm sure nobody's going to make all 4 hours into it, but there you go.
Yeah, Chris Brennan and another one has really influenced my astrology studies, more so Chris Brennan. Like I watch his like monthly monthly uh astrology forecasts, and pretty much I just like do that like monthly, and they're pretty interesting. He ties in the world events such as like COVID, the election, pretty much anything that goes on in the world to astrology. So I did make a prediction for I did make a prediction in astrology of the election, and who was going to win this year. And my prediction came true, because I looked at like previous patterns, because astrology is based on like pattern recognition, cycles that happened before, like so things don't happen out of chance. They happen out of reason, and astrology shows that. So basically, what I predicted through tarot and astrology is that Biden won the election, and that came true this year. Also, astrology has really put on and I started like doing the astrology of the pandemic, and it's a lot in these placements in the pandemic were similar to the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. So I found that interesting, is that that this happened for a reason, and basically it I do like get into like electional astrology, horary astrology, which is basically answering a question, which is like the most ancient form of astrology, what people did in ancient times.
Yeah, this is the good part about horary astrology is that you can actually, it's the easiest one to get into. Like if you just want to start up something, it's probably going to be a pretty easy thing to do other than run somebody's chart. I guess one of the problems I have with running people's chart is it's just so much that you have to cover at some point. And then when you tell people their chart, they're like, yeah, whatever. It's like, move on to my real question, which is, when am I going to find this person, or when am I going to get a soulmate, or when am I going to get a new car, when am I going to get a new job? That's what I've sort of found in astrology. People want to know about the future and what's going to happen rather than running their birth chart, because you tell them that sometimes they're stubborn. They're like, well, yeah, I knew that, so what about that job kind of thing? So that's why I like horary astrology, because they can ask a question and get a direct answer about that.
Yeah, something about horror astrology is that it is a science. It's kind of like involving math, like the Ptolemaic aspects. You have to involve aspects. You have to involve houses, and the ascendant in that order, because astrology is basically a science. Most of them call it a pseudoscience, but I'm basically saying it's a science because it's like a tight system. It's really involved. You got to know about like all the aspects, what the aspects are. Also, the aspects can really affect how the question can be answered. So let's just say I have a horary chart example on my computer. I can pretty much like not on my computer, but let me see if I could like bring it up.
What application is this?
This is Planet Dance.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try to. So this is the horary chart that I did of trying to find keys. So you can basically do astrological, you could also ask for where stuff is in horary astrology, like right now. So I did this like 4 months ago to the day. So I was asking where my keys were. So pretty much the ascendant here is me, the querent, with the ascendant here. So my ascendant is so I'm doing this based on the traditional rulership of the signs. So it's got to be based off of traditional rulership. But so you see with my so me, the querent, is in Scorpio, so I'm ruled by Mars in tradition. So but in like modern, it's like Pluto now. which is an interesting rulership for Scorpio though. So now I look at like, so keys are basically second house things, like material possessions, values, resources. So that's second house things. So the cusp of the second house was in Sagittarius. So what rules Sagittarius is Jupiter. So Jupiter is in the second house. So what it basically is telling me is that it's somewhere near myself, near one of my possessions, where I keep my possessions. So I did look for where it was, and I did find my key. And it's so interesting how that happens, like how spirit shows that of horary astrology, is that it does like answer a lot of questions. And
Yeah, there's a few types of it too. They got the so you have like John Frawley's version. You have a ton of other versions. Unfortunately, there's no really good. Well, there's like one good series on YouTube that'll teach you horary astrology. I think she has like 7 or 8 videos, but there's not like a complete course, like front to back. You know, it's sort of here's how you start with it. Here's how you're going to do things, like ask this question and all that. The problem is, it's like everything in astrology, it's kind of infinite. Once you can do basics, but once you sort of dive deeper into it, you're like, my God, this is going to take me like years to figure out, kind of thing.
Yes. I got horary astrology pretty quickly, because pretty much it's also logical in that way. How it works is logically and intuitively. So pretty much it's not like tarot per se. It's more like using your logic, using like math. It's like doing math. Like if you want to find a specific equation, you have to include like some science into it. And that's what horary astrology is that it incorporates the science of astrology, like aspects, planetary rulerships, with that. So yeah, that's basically what horary astrology is that it uses the systems of astrology to answer questions. But horary astrology cannot answer like philosophical questions, like does God exist, or also or weather questions like will it rain. Like it won't give questions like that.
It does pretty much everything else, though. I mean, the horary is a nice place to be. I think it's a good place to start. Again, just because of how useless birth charts are. I've never really had anybody that wanted a birth chart. I mean, once you read birth chart, it's sort of interesting. I think people just sort of put up with it. But at the end of the day, if somebody's going to come to you with a real question, they want the real question answered instead of the birth chart. But that's just me. I mean, that's my base that's coming in that have different questions or something like that. But in general, I found people just want results, and that's where horary astrology sort of comes in. And it's a good place to start, but unfortunately, like everything in astrology, like this one paragraph about the moon is like not going to be enough. You know, there are whole books about the moon, there are whole books about Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Mars, etc. So that's going to kind of be unfortunate. The other thing is there's different types of horary astrology. So you'll have this person, for example, you'll run a chart for a question, and they want you to use your location for it instead of the querent's location. So if you have two love questions in a row, you're getting almost the same chart. So then others want you to use the querent's location. So now you get a little bit of a different chart. So the whole thing is, if you just have like 5 questions in a row, you get a very similar chart for every one of them. So that's one thing I don't like about horary astrology. That's why I only do like one question, then you wait, to the next day or something like that. But if you just do 30 questions in a row, you're going to be running into quite an obstacle, because you kind of have to wing it like half the time and try to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, something with horary astrology is that it does not, you cannot do it just like, you cannot do it like tarot. It like you can like answer like questions like that like that with the tarot towards other people. Like you can't like do live streams of horary astrology, because you're gonna get like the same result for other people, and it's a little limited like that. So it has to be like time based. So if you wanted to do like a horary astrology on like a live stream, you would have to like do it like only one question per person, one question per stream, because the placements do move kind of slowly, and they progress slowly. So really just like defeats its meaning. It defeats its purpose. Is that you have to understand what the planetary movements are, and the progressions. So pretty much, if you wanted to do it on a live stream, it's pretty much going to be like not special, and it's just gonna like give you the same answer. And so that's why I don't do horary astrology on live streams, is because it defeats the purpose. So
yeah, you could kind of do it though. I mean, if you did a love question, then a job question, then a find my keys question or something like that. But if you do 10 love questions in a row, you're down a hole after question 2. You also use the querent's location as well. I think the biggest problem with a live stream is you have a lot of people waiting. So unless you're willing to sit there for 5 hours and do a 5-hour stream, doing a horary reading, it's just going to take a little bit. You'd have to be like at the top of your game to do a horary reading and wrap it up in 2 minutes. You have to be like this, that, that, and then have a nice day. And next, I mean, you'd have to be top of your game in order to do a 2-minute horary reading.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you have to be really accurate. You have to be really understanding of the system, of the horary astrology system, to really understand that that if you want to do it on live stream, is that you have to do it like really quick, because there's going to be a lot more people waiting for their question to be answered. Same as in tarot, but I try to get in depth with people, even though it's free. So
this would be perfect though. Electional astrology.
Yes.
Like, should I get married in March?
Yes. Something like that. I'm learning how to do. I know how to do electional charts. I even I even did an electional chart on like if I'm gonna pass the driving the driver's license exam on that on like in like August 11th, which is when I got it. And so pretty much when I asked that question and went to the electional chart, is that pretty much said I was going to pass it. So
yeah. So explain what electional astrology is.
so basically, electional astrology is basically astrology of the future, astrology of future uh, future events. Like let's say future like let's say for a mundane example like elections, or something like an inauguration day, for like a president or something like that. So you could use so basically it's astrology of the future, which is basically astrology's purpose is that it answers for the future. So really it's God's way of saying this is like I'm orchestrating this. I'm orchestrating these placements to show these particular placements that I'm orchestrating what's happening in real life for what's to happen in the future. So basically, also with electional astrology is that I do have an electional chart, for example, on my screen. So let me share my screen for a bit.
So basically, it's like if I want to get married, what's going to be? Should I get married in June? Should I get married in January? All these different things. It sort of
Yeah,
gives you an opportunity to find your best timing. So if I'm going to start a business, is starting a business going to be better in July versus February kind of thing?
yeah. So I have a chart of the presidential election of this year. Let me see where I can find it. And yeah, this is the electional. This is the 2020 election. So basically, I'm doing off of patterns of like who's gonna win and like who's gonna win. So basically, this shows that Biden wins here in this electional chart for the election. So we had Trump and Biden here. So basically, what I predicted from this chart is that Trump loses and Biden wins. And I do have another electional chart from it also has to do with a lot of counting in transits with that. So
Sunshiny day, yes. Sunshiny day, that's all computer generated. Yes, it basically is better. In the old days, they had to hand do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have websites and free programs that'll do it for you now.
Like this was me predicting would I would I pass my driver's exam in August. So basically we're combining horary astrology to like future astrology. So like so me, the querent, is ruled by Mars. Like, so the querent is like the ascendant's in Aries. And so we look for Mars, which is in the 12th house. And now we look for driver's license test, which is going to be ruled by the 3rd house, which is basically like commuting, short-term traveling, cars. That's all 3rd house stuff. Also, tests are 3rd house stuff. So that's the cusp of the 3rd house is ruled by Gemini. So we look for where Gemini is. I mean, we look for what is a ruler of Gemini, and we see with Mars and Mercury here is that now we look into like where now we look into what day did I get like my license. It was like in Monday. So let me see. It was the 11th. So now it like it trined with so now it like formed a so it didn't have a aspect to Mercury. So basically what I was left with, it was like it's unclear whether I would pass, because this is considered void of course. So shows that a major aspect is lacking for that day. So it does show that there was like a lack of unsureness. But now we look at Taurus, which is me, the querent for that day. The August 11th is when I pass the driver's test. Is that I was ruled by Taurus here, and here's the ruler of Taurus, which is Venus. So Venus is in the 2nd house. So so that's what planet rules the querent is with the 1st house. And so now we combine with horary astrology is that now we look at the 3rd house, and what rules the 3rd house is Cancer. So Cancer is in the 3rd house at this time. So what rules Cancer? It's the moon. So pretty much basically if we look at the placements of that so originally I asked this on August. So this was me being the rulership of Aquarius. So basically we have the trine. I mean, we have the the sextile, which is basically good energy, good energy coming in with sextiles. It's basically beneficial energy. So this answers yes, that I will pass the driver's test. So that's electional astrology here. So basically, it combines horary astrology with electional astrology. So that is electional astrology.
So we have a tarot decks that are including astrology, that have included astrology before. Sort of interesting that, let's see if it's going to make me do that. Stop screen. Let's see if I can stop that screen without crashing it. There we go. Share screen, Chrome tab, discover newest tarot, go. Okay. So we have some tarot decks. So tarot decks do include astrology. We have tarot decks that have been included astrology for literally forever, like the Thoth, for example, which will have astrology symbols within them. Of course, now I'm not going to get a minor. Of course, now I'm going to find one that has it. But anyway, yeah, you have Jupiter. You just have different things. The Thoth is one of the oldest ones that's going to do that. There are many decks that do that. There you go. Then we have this Golden Eclipse Tarot and Psychic Workshops. This person's trying to include astrology within the tarot. So they'll have a couple of symbols here and there. They'll have some planets, etc. And they do have sample readings on this. So it was Zodiac Cosmic Wheel. You have houses, which I haven't seen in in a tarot deck in a long time. But that's sort of interesting. It's sort of interesting where they're going with some of these things. So they're first created. I'm not sure how I would use the house. How are you going to use the house in this?
So how you can use it. So basically, houses are basically areas of the personality, that areas of your life, like so you could use a house and seeing like where this energy affects you, where this like archetype will affect you. So that's how you can use it with houses. It's not so much like signs, where the signs have their own they have their own personalities. They have their own energies to them. With houses, it's basically saying where this energy is, where will this energy affect this area of your life. So
well, that's 8th house. That's no good at all. Death indeed.
Yes.
Death, Scorpio, 8th house. Needs something for the 8th house. It might as well be the death card. I'm not really sure how they're going to determine houses, though. So if I have a 2 of cups, like what house is that? Is that the 1st house? Is that the 3rd house? 4th house? Maybe 5th house for children? I don't know.
That'll be probably 7th house, because 7th house is the house of partnerships. It's a house of love. 2 of cups is like partnerships. It's like commitment.
Well, but it could be a job related. What if it's a job reading? Now I want to go 10th house.
It could be like seventh house could also be about like business partnerships. Like 2 of cups could like symbolize that you're going to go into like a business partnership with somebody. If it's like a business reading, or it's like a job reading. So partnerships are pretty much universal. It could be like a love partnership. It could be a business partnership.
So it looks like they skip it. See, if minor arcana, 5 of cups. I don't see a house highlighted here at all. So disappointment, Five of Cups. I'll go with, let's say, one of the miserable houses.
That'll be
One of the
the
terrible house. Let's go with the sixth house. There you go.
that'll actually be the 12th house, because that's the house of self undoing. So basically, it's a house of bad health, and in prisons. So
Well, they're skipping it entirely. So the Scorpio eighth house. I think the documentation on this should be fairly interesting to read, but I did back it. I'm just kind of interested as to how we sort of go about this, because so houses are going to be obvious for something like Leo for strength, or for something where the Empress, we have children, maybe fifth house, but some of the other ones you have no idea. Some are just going to be kind of muddied out. It's kind of interesting that that they have this, but this is a good deck. I mean, with the documentation, hopefully they get it where it's pretty easy and pretty intuitive. It's cool that it is 85 cards. It's a bit much at $55, but it's also round tarot. Some people aren't a fan, some people are a fan. Let's see, what was the other one that was here? There was one in the Oracle section, and that was this one. Is this one? Yeah, 133. So this has an astrology sort of part to it. Looked like they just jammed a bunch of different decks together. Let's see, where is it? Lenormand cards. You have renumbered cards. You have spirit animal cards, but there's astrology sort of jammed into here. Astrological bonus cards. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna be like that's definitely going to be something like the 12 zodiac cards and the 10 planets. Is that they're just like jam packing this deck here, like including all other things.
They got everything. They might as well just include some recipes for muffins or something.
They might as well just include tarot as well.
Well, they do have a tarot deck. It's like, here are the base. So this is so they created 5 Kickstarters so far, and one of them was a tarot deck. And the tarot deck did not fund at the first thing. So anyway, they had that available on their site. I think they redid it and funded. But yeah, the tarot deck was interesting because it was like reversible. So they had 4 different types. They had one standard tarot with nothing on it. They had one with help text. They had one with reversible help text, etc. It was sort of interesting. I guess 133 cards, include a Lenormand, include astrology, include muffin recipes on some of the cards, and spirit animals on some of the cards. I think the best bet, if you want to get into, like, I just want to dive into astrology and tarot, probably be this one, Golden Eclipse. So what kind of book? I mean, the book is gonna make or break this deck. I gotta say.
Yeah. It better. I'm just saying this with the book. I just hope that it just like really gets into the. It really hope it just like really gets into the true astrology of it, and not really making their own like archetypes of it, like sticking to the true astrology. But I do believe they will do that. And I did like back that project on Kickstarter, so it's gonna be interesting how I do readings with it. Maybe something that may replace not really replace the Prisma Visions. It's maybe be alongside with the Prisma Visions, but I do like that deck.
Yeah, it's a good deck. I wish they would have put some art in it. I guess some actual art and stuff. Let's see. Well, I mean, you know, sort of like full-fledged pictures, something. Anyway, so that's sort of interesting. I guess they have some sort of a membership we're supposed to join. I have no idea. There's some documentation.
Thing is are they going? Thing is it going to be reversible? Is that's the question. So
I assume no. How are you going to do reverse? I mean, they said
I
it's
just
reverse now.
I just interpret reversals as like refusals or blocked energies with the tarot.
Well, it's
I do
round.
have,
What would you do
yeah.
if you get a 45 degree? Is that reversed or is that right side up?
Oh boy. That's it will have to be right side up. But if
So on the 46th degree, it's reversed.
yeah, pretty much.
have to get a protractor out.
Yeah, it's that deck's gonna be tough to really understand like reversals on that, like on really trying on like really trying to do reversals on that. Like I wanna ask the author of that deck if she is going to do like if this is going to be reversals. Like I'm sure somebody else has that question for somebody else has that question.
Maybe
So
not. Nope, nobody has that question. Yeah, that'd be my first. There's a lot of pending questions on this. I mean, there's a lot of good questions that could be asked. Number one, I mean, where's the documentation? I guess some of this you're just gonna have to sort of make it up. I guess some of this you could wing it. I mean, okay, we
yeah,
got planets on here on some of the minors. We just got this conglomeration of planets because the minors, I mean, are deacons and decans of different sections and all that, and then you do have planets and you have to have planets and signs within all the minors. Well, yeah, and then the court cards is where it gets weird because every book has a different planet or a different sign associated with a court card. So you go to one website, it's completely different than another website, it's completely different than a book, which is completely different than another book. So court cards are up in the air.
yeah. Another thing I was like thinking of like if it's like if it's like a different like degree or something, if it's like a different like tilt than like being upright or reverse, I could just like do it as like the strength of that energy. That's what my intuition is picking up on that.
Would you reverse the house? So if you have second house and it's reversed, would you flop? Would you go to eight?
Yes.
So you'd go to eighth house instead of second house? That's kind of brutal.
Yeah.
You thought you were
Basically,
getting some possessions and now you're going to die.
well, eighth. Well, the opposite of the second house could be like the loss of possessions as well. So, the loss of money as well. So, um, that like financial troubles with the eighth house. If there is like a reversal of the second house, it could be like the trouble with money, trouble with your resources, improperly handling resources, losing money.
Well, that's interesting. How would you do a reverse eighth house? Would you
Like
go the traditional way? So one of the traditional, like eight into two, is sort of a traditional is the inheritance, right? So you have somebody that was close to you that may have passed, and now you're into the second house, so you're going to get a little bit of inheritance from it. That's sort of a traditional eight into two.
yeah,
Would you follow that, or would you just go straight two, or would you go reversed eight? Somebody's going to live longer. Somebody's going to be strong and healthy.
I would go so pretty much reversed eighth house shows that. So basically, eighth house does not mean literal death. It means like transformation. So it means that there is that rebirth. Like eighth house could also be like rebirth. It could also be like secrets, occult stuff. So so what I would say with the reverse eighth house is like it will be like just like complete death. That that thing just ended. It's not going to come back again, and there's not going to be any change coming
So just
towards
treat
that.
it like a death card.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. There are many cases where it does actually mean death, though, in the inheritance, for example, stuff like that. When you're actually looking for when somebody is deceased, that was covered in was it? It's covered in one of these billions of books that I have. It was covered as far as the inheritance thing is all over the place. That's I think it's almost in every book. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It depends on the reader and the interpretation, and all that stuff. That's why astrology is so horrible. It's like you could just, I mean, there's a whole book on the moon. There's like a video course, I think, on Udemy about the moon that's like 5 hours
Yeah.
long. It's just the moon. It's not even signs or anything like that. That's one of the problems with astrology. It's an endless gaping hole of information.
Yeah. Some people just take it. Some people just take it literally, like death means like literal death. Like like you're gonna die. You're gonna die. I don't interpret it as literal death. I interpret it as like transformation. Like you know how like in the like in the Bible it says like you're gonna pass through a second life, a new life. um I interpret death as that way. Like the end of something does not mean necessarily the end. It means that there was an end. There's an end to it, to an old thing. There's an end towards a um there's an end, but there is that change, there is that transformation. You see like a caterpillar going into a cocoon. It does not mean that it's dead, that it's just like dormant there. It's just like going through that transformation, and it becomes like a butterfly. That's what I interpret death is, like going
Well,
into.
the eighth house is death, taxes, and other people's money. I think that's a literal definition from there. But yeah, the eighth house is different than the death card. I mean, there's various differences there, but that's the good thing about the nuances of this deck. Be kind of interesting to see how they do it, and then how we sort of throw it down on the table and interpret it. So
Yeah, what Robin Freeman said, new beginning. Yes, that is true. It is a new beginning. Like death does not mean the end. Death does not mean the end. Um, it's just the way I interpret it is that it's just a something ended, but there's going to be a new beginning. Um, so
yep, that's the death card. But again, we're talking about sort of the eighth house. So it's sort of be interesting how we can combine both of those now that they're both sort of in the same family on this tarot card. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Some that's why I have a problem. That's why I have a problem with like some astrologers who just like interpret it's literal death, something like that. That's why that's why we need people to transform the way, we need people to transform the meanings of astrology. Like we need somebody to say that death does not mean literal death. We need somebody to say that that we need somebody to say that we need somebody to say that that's one of the controversies of astrology, is like, and tarot is like the concept of death, the concept of the devil. Some people just like take it literally, and they just like go with it and like say, oh, I'm gonna die. But there are people that will come in and there are people that will come in and like say, oh, death does not mean literal death. It means transformation, change, rebirth. Like Scorpio is a transformative sign. So we need this is exactly why young people are not really interested in most young people are not really interested in, or people that are like have like a religious background like myself are not really interested in astrology or tarot. Is because the concept of the devil and the concept of death. And I feel like we can like transform those. I feel like we can transform those definitions, and make them spiritual, because we're entering into the age of Aquarius. So it shows that things are going to change. Things are going to change, like definitions are going to change. And we need people to like bring that into tarot, bring that into astrology, and say like death does not mean literal death or something like that. It's just like it's something that we have to like put in to something we have to manifest here, is that we need to change astrology into something that it's going to be a bit more spiritual rather than taking it literally. So yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on here. I enjoyed it. It was definitely edifying and enlightening.
Well, cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching as well. I appreciate it. And see you tonight in how many hours? In 5.5 hours. Talk to you then. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.